Okay, great. Well, thank you very much and welcome everybody. And thank you for your time. If for whatever reason you can't hear me very well or it's starting to cut out or something like that, just let me know. Raise your hand or put something in the chat box and we'll take it from there. And of course, thank you very much for your time. I know everybody, it takes a little longer to do everything these days, it seems, remotely when you're not sitting in the office. So thank you for your time, especially on the lunch hour. So my name is Phillip Berg, and I serve as Executive Director of the Morris Automated Information Network, also known as MAIN, as you can see our logo here. We refer to it as MAIN, it's a lot easier. So I'm going to take you through some of the products that are being offered by public libraries right now. But before we do that, hopefully this works. There we go. Let's just go through today's objectives. So first and foremost, we want to get a better understanding of ReferanceuSA. We call it RefUSA for short. General capabilities, what you can do with it, and also how you would get trained on it and learn how to use it, because we do not have enough time today to do that. We're also going to take a very quick peek at some additional resources and services that you have access to. And if we have time at the end, I'll also clue you in on a few things to keep you sane at home that technically aren't of a business-related variety, but I think wellness is probably going to make you a better worker and more productive overall. And then actually we're going to start with how to register for a library card, because that's the key to getting these resources in most cases. But real quick, who and what is MAIN? We skipped over that, so let's get into that real quick. At its core, it's a shared services cooperative. We're designated as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. It's not a government entity. Right now, there's 38 public libraries in 3 counties. Don't worry, Kay, we're going to get, that's the next slide. Probably at this point, it's over 500 library staff members. I think it's actually closer to 1,000, but we just say 500 plus. I report to a board, just like any other nonprofit organization, at least for the most part. There's 2.8 million physical items, though, as you probably know, we can't access them at the moment. However, we do have 24/7 digital products, which is the focus of today's discussion. And MAIN, again, this is something that I could go into much more in depth, but essentially MAIN acts as the hub for all kinds of different technical support for the library. So all the different services that they could never afford on their own, they've all gathered together, all 38, to fund this organization, which saves them a ton of money every year. So the original shared services of the state, for sure, public libraries. So getting a library card. So what we're talking about right now is anybody who lives or works in Morris County, Bernards Township, or Hackettstown. If you live outside of those areas, then your library is not part of MAIN, and you'll need to go to your local library and figure out how you get your card there. But if you're not certain, just email me. That's the quickest way. I'll let you know what you need to do and who you need to talk to. The other way, if you don't want to wait for me to respond, is if you go to that link right there, mainlib.org/business501, it'll be brought to a page. At the top of the page, there's a link that says register here. It's right underneath the nav bar. And then you go through those forms, and usually your registration is finalized within a business day, give or take. Sometimes the response is lightning fast, and within 5 minutes it'll be done. But other times it does take a little while longer, and it's kind of in flux right now with the libraries being physically closed and everyone working from home. So it can be difficult, but we do what we can to get you that card. So RefUSA. First and foremost, I am required to tell you that this product is paid for by the New Jersey State Library and IMLS. IMLS is the federal level for library museum services. So MAIN is not paying for this. Your municipality is not paying for this. This is coming out of federal and state tax dollars. Okay. It essentially acts as a searchable directory database, and there are some stats right there for you. Last time I did a presentation about this to the chamber, probably over a year ago at this point, those numbers were smaller. So it keeps growing every single day. But you might be asking, okay, it's great that I can search a directory database. Why would that help me? What can I do with that? Great question. So let's talk about that for a little bit. One of the most used parts of RefUSA is the fact that you can go in there and take a look at anybody who's moved into town. So you have a bunch of potential leads there. And it's not just people who have bought property, which is usually what you could derive from the Postal Service. This is buyers and renters. So it's very powerful for you to see potential new clients. You can isolate populations based off of just about any kind of demographic you could think of, whether it's how much money they make, what industry they're in, where they live, that kind of thing. All this information is coming from Info Group is the name of the company that owns RefUSA. So all the information is coming from the data that they collect through credit card companies and a lot of other places. So they have a lot of information on all of us. That's kind of the nature of big data in the world that we live in today. So RefUSA is trying to help us harness that information. You can also take a look at businesses in any sector or all sectors or of a certain size or in a certain area that have recently opened and closed. So I suppose that could help you out with where your competition could be. You can also drill down and look at individual contact information for different levels of employee at the company themselves. So particularly if they're a publicly traded company, you can already get that, but not everyone's publicly traded. So if you want to know the CEO, CFO, CTO, all sorts of different titles, all that information is listed for these different companies. And you can also use, I guess they would call it a mapping tool. So if you just want to know certain information about, hey, this is the zip code I'm looking at, everything within 6 miles show me X, Y, or Z. You can take a look at it from that perspective as well. So if you're trying to maybe expand your business and open up a new location somewhere and you want to see if there are any other pharmacies in that area, it's probably a bad example because there are pharmacies everywhere, but you see where I'm going with this. It's an interesting way of looking at it. I am not a business owner, so I can't tell you firsthand what I have or would be using this for. We use it from a nonprofit perspective to help with fundraising and things like that. But these are just 5 bullet points that have come up in the past that people have told me they've used it for. But the name of the game here is you really need to get creative. This data is there, but just like with any database, it all depends on how you query it. So if you're just expecting to log into RefUSA and you're going to type in your company and it's going to magically make everything better for you, it's unfortunately not the case. You need to come up with the types of information that you would like to see, and then you need to tell the product, hey, display it, computer display. For those of you who are connected to elected officials or perhaps know them, are them, also know, just as a side note, this product is quite helpful from a government perspective. So if you needed to find out certain pieces of demographic information, especially since the last census was basically 10 years ago, in order to fill out some FEMA forms, or your town is very concerned about the upcoming election and you want to be able to get a list of addresses for all the people over a certain age so that you can make sure they get information about voting from home. I mean, all that sort of stuff can be done with this product, and exporting all these different addresses and contact information into Excel. So at this point, I'm going to just take you through how you log into RefUSA. So it should be pretty simple. It was set up by the state to be easy. So not always the case. I'll explain that in a second. www.referenceusa.com. That should be all you need to put in. However, that's not always the case. If your computer browser has geolocation turned off in general, or when a little button pops up and it says, RefUSA would like to know your location, and you say deny because you've trained yourself to always click deny, it's going to take you to a screen that includes this box. At that point, you need to type in your library card number. So part of the reason why getting your library card is very important is so that if you are not being located by the computer, or say you live along the borders of New Jersey and it seems like you're in New York or Pennsylvania, okay, then it might have an issue with that too. It can't confirm you're actually in New Jersey. Say you live in Phillipsburg or something like that. So again, card number, you just type the whole thing in, all 13 or 14 digits, depending on how your card number is structured, and then hit log on. And away you go. So how are we going to learn how to use this product? Phil, you're doing a great job of explaining it, but how in the world are we going to use it? So like I said, we can't go through it all today. It would take a while, and I don't think that's what everybody is here to see. So there are any number of features that we could dive into. Some of them of an advanced nature. It is, I'm not going to lie, it does take a little used to. You need to get used to it. There is a learning curve. However, RefUSA, I think late last year, they recognized this and have, I think, done a really great job of remedying it. So they do live training webinars every single week. They also have pre-recorded videos you can watch if those are not happening at a time that that are convenient for you, or you just don't like participating in that kind of a webinar. You'd rather just be able to pause and rewind and go back and things like that. It's all available free to use off their website. So once you're on RefUSA.com, up at the top in their nav bar, you should see where it says Learning Center. I put a little box around it. So if you click on that, it takes you to a page that includes these 4 options. So these are the pre-recorded videos I was discussing, the webinars, and if you'd rather just read guides and manuals, you can look at that. Have a newsletter. Frankly, I don't know how helpful you'll find that. But when you click on webinars, this is where you're taken to. So I don't think anyone here other than me would be categorized as a librarian. You're of course welcome to join that session. It'll probably be quite similar to Search Essentials, but the first and third Thursday of every month at 10 o'clock Central Time, so that's what, 11 o'clock our time. They have Search Essentials, so that'll give you the basics of how to use it. It's roughly an hour, I believe. And then the other one is Entrepreneurship Research for Starting, Managing, and Growing Your Business. I would say this is probably your 201 course, and they run that the second and fourth Tuesday, also 10 o'clock Central. They're based out of Omaha, I believe. That's why everything's in Central Time. There is a job-seeking component of RefUSA as well, but we're not really covering that today. But of course, if that's something you're interested in learning more about, you can certainly register for them as well. It's all free. It's all open access. It's not free for the state. I assure you, they pay a very large check to Info Group every year so that everybody in New Jersey has access to this. But you're not going to be out any kind of cash in terms of trying to get training. It's not like you have to pay $100 to sit in on a webinar or something like that. Okay. So now we're going to switch gears, and I'm just going to take you. We had mentioned that Business 501 webpage on the main website earlier about how to register for a library card. You may remember seeing this little strip up here. But this is our page that we've put together that lists all the different library resources that are free to use for library card holders, and getting a library card is also free. So in the end, it's just however long it takes you to get a library card is basically the only time that you're investing in terms of money. But so you'll see the RefUSA link. The Gale Business Plan Builder is a wonderful product for those looking to start a new business or expand a small business. We have a 50-50 split of cost with the Economic Development Corporation here in Morris County, made in EDC. So I would certainly suggest looking into that, clicking on that and logging in if that's something that you think might be interesting. The state also provides Small Business Resource Center, Regional Business News. Regional Business News, more of like a newspaper kind of thing, showing you what's going on. Of these, I would say the order of importance and the amount of times they're used is in order. So number 1 is RefUSA, two is Gale Business Plan Builder, and then the other two are not as used. And then we also have links to the different organizations that we've partnered with over time, as well as other local chambers of commerce, in addition to the county. As you can see, Morris County right at the top there with the EDC. So if you have any questions about any of these, I can answer them in the Q&A today if we have time. If not, I'm happy to connect you with your local library, or I can just answer your email directly. However you want to do it is perfectly fine. You know, we here in the library realm are part of our job is to support businesses. It is not just here to run story time and be a place for retirees to come in and read the New York Times. There's a lot going on in the libraries, and this is just one facet of that. I also did just want to give a quick plug, since, are we doing on time? We still have a little bit of time. Life at home is strange right now. I don't think anybody can say otherwise. Even if you generally work from home, you usually have the freedom to go to a coffee shop, or public library for that matter, or the park, or really anywhere to do your work. And that's not so much the case right now. So we've set up pages that are specifically targeted at certain demographics, particularly focused right now on the K-12 school districts. So that's why you're seeing parents, students, teachers, virtual programs. The virtual programs, it's really a testament to how well the libraries are pivoting in these unprecedented times. Is that what we're saying these days? Many of the programs which are typically taking place at libraries have shifted to Facebook streams, which it seems we're familiar with here today, as well as recording videos and placing them on YouTube channels from the library. So you're able to actually see story time with your kids from your library, or any of these other libraries too, because it's not like you're physically driving across, you know, the county or the state to get somewhere. It doesn't really matter. So of course those are all available 24/7, just like anything on YouTube. So that's something that we've been working on. And if you go to mainlib.org/digital-content, that shows you all of the different things that we offer remotely, whether you're looking for the latest digital comic books, magazines, ebooks, e-audio books. Would you like to learn how to learn a new language? Well, there's Rosetta Stone for free as well. There's a ton there, and we probably don't have time to go into all of it today, and that's not why I was asked to be here. So anyway, there's my shameless plug. I'll get off my soapbox now. So with that, I think we're coming close to our 12:25, 12:30 target stop time. So I'll open up for questions, or we could discuss really anything to do with libraries if there's nothing specific to RefUSA. For those of you who already know me, you'll know that you do need to stop me from talking.
You're doing great.
But I'm going to turn on the video, and we'll see if the internet has improved at all, just so you can see there is a person here.
Great.
All
right. So Philip, thank you so much. This is good information for me, because I've been thinking lately, man, I kind of wish I had a library card so I could access this information. While we wait to see if people have questions they want to drop in chat, I'm just going to say, again, thank you so much for presenting. Keep an eye on our Facebook and LinkedIn pages for the upcoming webinars that we're going to be hosting. Tomorrow we have 2 open webinars. The first one is a forum with 5 New Jersey state senators on the COVID-19 crisis. That is at 11 a.m. And then we have a 2 o'clock seminar, How to Succeed at Selling Remotely. So I'm going to drop links in the chat for everyone to check out. And if you want to review this information again, we will be posting it on our YouTube channel and our website's video library. Like you said, Philip, YouTube has been a great resource for this, and it's really cool to know that like the Chester Library is posting things. So I'm going to check that out myself. I do have a question for you. So I'm a resident of Sussex County. So technically my work for the Morris County Chamber is in Morris County. So with that, I will be allowed to sign up for a library card in Morris County.
Right. So great question. So my first question back to you is: do you live in Sparta or a town in Sussex County not named Sparta?
I live near Sparta, but not in Sparta.
Okay. So then your local library is indeed the Sussex County library system.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you are eligible for a library card because the office is at Florham Park, right? So you would go to the Florham Park Public Library, and they could give you a card. I wouldn't even bother trying to explain that you have a Sussex County card, because technically you can use it for certain things through a program called Open Borrowing. But it's just tell them you work and you want a library card, and that shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, great. Sure, because I haven't
It
had a
has
library
limited
card since I was a kid.
there are certain things you're limited. Like, for example, you couldn't take out 100 items like if you were a resident of Florham Park.
Sure.
I think you're limited to like 10 or 25 or something like that. But
of course.
in terms of digital content, it shouldn't be any issues.
Okay, no, that's fantastic to know. Michelle Patterson has a question in chat that's similar. How do I sign up for a Parsippany card? I also live in Sussex County, but work in Parsippany. Hi, neighbor.
Sure. So yeah, and hello, I live in Booton, so you're just to my south. Yeah, I would say, Michelle, just shoot me an email with your contact information, and I'll forward that over to the Parsippany Library, and they'll take care of that for you.
Great. I posted your email in the chat earlier. I'm gonna paste that again, just so people can have it. It's just phillip.berg@mainlib.org.
Correct. Yep, it should be hopefully on the screen right now.
Okay, wonderful. And I'm pasting in chat so people can just copy paste that.
And if you can't remember that, if you send it to main@mainlib.org, it will also go to me.
Great. And of course, people can email the chamber, and I can always direct them to you if need be.
Sure. Yeah, not a problem. We're here as a resource. This is not the only time you'll ever see me at a chamber meeting. We're a very proud member of the chamber, and I believe the EDC as well. So, you know, I'm in the directory, I guess, as well.
Absolutely. All right. So any other questions? I'll give it a moment. Oh, we actually have a question on Facebook Live from Kate.
Oh, cool.
From Kate H. Are movies available at this time if you have a card now?
So physical movies, no. Any kind of physical materials, since the libraries are physically closed, you can't get in to grab any. We did extend due dates, so if you did have any items checked out right now, they're not due. So don't be running back to the library to try and return them to avoid a fine. Right now, everything is fine-free through May 31st at least. We may extend it again. The only way, well, which could I ask? I don't know if you can hear me. What library are you from? Because some libraries do subscribe to online streaming video options like Canopy and Hoopla. So with your library card, you could feasibly watch TV shows and movies. You know, it's not going to be the latest blockbuster, but you'll definitely find at least a few things that'll interest you. If that's not really helpful, or you have more follow-up questions, feel free to email me, and I'll put you in touch with the people that could actually help you. But there's no main product that every library subscribes to that enables that. However, many of the libraries, like I said, do have streaming video services right now.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to message that to her just in case on Facebook as well, just to follow up. But okay, so if we have no other questions waiting, again, Phillip, thank you so much for presenting. If you want to watch this again, we will be posting this on our YouTube channel, which I dropped in chat, along with our website's video library. And I hope to see you all on our next webinar.